What's up, guys? I am out on a piece of property owned by my family. This is actually where I grew up. Growing up, I was very lucky to not only live out in the middle of nowhere, for all intents and purposes, surrounded by wildlife, but Oyster Creek runs right through my backyard. I could stand on my back porch and throw a rock into Oyster Creek. So fishing became part of my everyday life. Here's what we're gonna do. The one cheat I'm allowing myself, it's not true survival. Let's not pretend that I'm in a life and death situation here. This ice chest contains water. I brought a little bit of bait for fishing, and I brought a lot of water. This is the one thing that I'll be consuming that I'm not getting from this property right here is good, clean, fresh water, because it is just too hot to take a chance with that. I'm not desperate. I'm not gonna pretend. Now this land has kind of got layers to it. So you can see there's an upper level behind me. We're kind of on the second level. And then it dips down again over there. Now during Harvey, that creek merged with the Brazos because the Brazos flooded and it got all the way up into the house you can see behind me there. So it got, 40 feet deep nearly. And that's why you see things like this tree where it's at now. Now let's actually be a little quiet down here because I don't want to scare any potential catches. There's a lot of gar out here. If I can help it, I don't want to kill and eat a gar. Just as a species, I almost just set my rods and reels against this. That would have been a very uncomfortable 24 hours. Actually, if I got stung by enough of those, I'd probably have to go to the hospital. Really cool. Big, huge spiders. We call them garden spiders or zipper spiders as a kid because they make the zigzag patterning in their web. Using a tree on one side, just got a slanting tarp. No need for anything fancy. All the attachment points are just quite simply done with slip knots and these little locks here. So basically you pull the pin, slip the knot, and the whole thing's gonna come down. So if for any reason I decide, you know what, time to pack it in, you pull those little pins, slip knots go, and your whole tarp comes down right away. All right, here we go. Just a little earthworm. Still very much alive. Very pleased with that. I thought they would have been dead just because the chlorine from the ice got in. But I guess that didn't happen until just a few hours ago, and they're able to survive. Now, what I expect is not a panfish. What I expect is catfish to grab this. Maybe like a small channel cat or a bullhead. That's what would probably happen, but let's just see. Let's just start right here. I will tell you now that this environment is and has always been incredibly snaggy. Loads of dead branches all over the place in here. All right, we're on. We got the culprit. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, catfish, little tiny channel catfish, but not unexpected. Not unexpected. He is too small for us to keep. We cannot use him for bait, so it is his lucky day. What I'd really like to catch is you know, his big brother. Oh, yep, there's something. Something big enough to pull. Yeah, pull drag. This might be a gar. A lot of the times catfish will just start pulling drag, and gar, they almost throw a fit, almost like children not getting what they want. They kind of just jerk at stuff, kind of pout, almost like pouting. Still there. Oh goodness, that's a good fish. Yeah, he's actually he's not bad. This is not a bad catch. I'm actually a tiny bit nervous about him cutting through the line, if I'm gonna be honest. Oh yeah, he's a good one. Pushing that drag down a little bit. I don't have a net, so gonna have to just see. That's a good fish. I'm gonna have to just lift him. Oh, he's off. That's fine. That's fine. I kind of had a feeling that was gonna happen. Amazingly, there's absolutely no marks. Oh, that's not true. Right at the knot, he almost cut that line in half. All right, we haven't got anything messing with the bait. Are we snagged? Yes. So typical. There we go. Just kind of gently pull it back. Steady pressure. Usually you can pull a stick out of the mud like that. Oh, it's quite a large stick. It's actually huge. You know what? Let's add this to the collection. Let me show you guys my collection I've got going of snags we've pulled out of the water so far. Here we go. So now that it's getting late, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this paracord, which you can buy pretty much anywhere these days. In fact, it's actually quite fashionable. People make stuff out of paracord all the time, so the chances that you're going to have it is actually pretty likely these days. Even my keychain that I've had for a couple of years now, for about 5 years I've had this keychain, it's made out of paracord. So the probability that you'll have it with you is actually pretty good. But I just bought this from the store. This is not a how-to survival video. But one of the things I used to do as a kid is I would fish primarily with a hand line. And since it's getting a little bit late, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some of the individual strands out of the length of paracord that I have and put out some throw lines. Just keep sliding this nylon sheath back like this. You end up with 5 strands of 50-pound test cord. That's why they call it 550 paracord. It's not because it has a 550-pound test rating. It's because it has 5 strands of 50-pound test rated cords inside this little sheath. Let's get this. This is still good rope. Let's take one of our strands here. And what I'm going to do, got to be careful you don't get it tangled up. It's so easy to do. And I'm going to just snell one of these live bait hooks. It's the simplest knot in my opinion. The snell knot. There you go. You can get fancy. You can put weights on them if you want to. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to free line it. Just going to tie one end to a branch. Throw the other end out in the water. something. Yep, fish on. Oh, please, please, please. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You know I'm happy about this, guys? You know I'm happy about this, guys? Because he's 12 inches long. I thought I was going to have to do something weird like eat a buffalo. But, no. Just in the nick of time, I can tell you. Let's actually... From here to here, yep, he's 12 inches. I know, strangely enough, I know exactly how long my hand is and how long my forearm is from elbow to wrist as well as elbow to fingertip. I actually measured it once as, I think, part of a school project, because that's how Egyptians, I believe, adapted the cubit. That's a measurement of old. The cubit, they adapted it to like 18 some odd inches. I can't remember the specifics. But the common use of the cubit measurement was elbow to fingertip. And I thought as a kid, I was like, I wonder how long mine is. So I measured everything. So now I kind of have a quick reference when I'm catching fish. And this is a 12-inch channel cat. That is dinner. There we go, just like that. We don't need too many. I don't want a big fire, I just want a fire. Check that out, guys. I don't know if you can see that, but there's an abandoned bird's nest up here. There we go. That will make a perfect tinder bundle for the fire. Just look at that. It's amazing what craftsmen they are. But that will make a perfect little bundle to get our embers in to light a fire. Something green, long and thin. That tree right there hits the mark perfectly. A lot of briars down here. I just gotta be careful. I'm barefoot. Literally grew up running around here barefoot, so thought I'd just bring that back. Here we go. This is a perfect one. If you guys, I don't know if you can see way up there, but right here. There we go. There we go, boom. Oh. All right, let's get out of here real quick and I'll tell you why. So getting out of this little section, I want to kind of run back. There we go. So mosquitoes are really active in the thick part of these woods. Not so much out here, especially right now, given there's a good strong breeze and I've got a fire going. So I don't want them to follow me out. It's kind of why I did that little sprint to get back out of there. So I don't want those mosquitoes to know where I went. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe mosquitoes kind of home in on you because of your output of carbon dioxide. That's how they find you. Which would make sense if you think about it from, you know, a natural standpoint. Most animals are going to have a thick fur armor to guard them against mosquitoes. And the parts of you that don't have that are typically going to be your mouth and your nose. And I don't know if this is why they can do that, but I would imagine in addition to just being an efficient tracking device for, you know, oxygen breathing animals, it's also going to help you find, if you're the mosquito, it's going to help you find that, that unprotected area that you know that you can bite. Somebody, if there's an entomologist on here, or if any of my zookeeper friends or acquaintances are on here, comment below, please let me know if that's on the money or if I'm completely wrong. Sounds like it should be right, but you know, sometimes you only know what you know. And sometimes I'll learn something and I'll be like, I bet it's because of this. And then somebody who's an expert in that field will be like, actually, it's because of this one thing that I never thought about. But once you know, it makes perfect sense. That's not what's happening. Now, I am going to use a classic survival piece of wisdom, and I'm going to gut this fish away from camp. Not because I'm worried about bears, because there are no bears in this part of Texas, but because I am worried about ants. I don't want ants marching in to my sleeping area tonight. That's also the main reason I've been very cautious about wiping my hands on my clothes throughout the day. This guy's been eating good in the neighborhood. Let's just squeeze out the stomach contents here, see what we got. Oh, crayfish. He's been eating crayfish. I don't know. Maybe, is that a snail? More, these are fish vertebrates. So he's got crayfish. He's got, yeah, he's got a whole crayfish's body digesting in his tummy here. Oh, and look, you can see the fins of some type of fish. So he's been eating crayfish mostly, and then he also had bits of a fish inside of him and a snail. All right, guys, that's what we got going. Just catfish over a fire. There's all kinds of fancy ways to do this right here. This is by far the simplest and honestly probably the least effective way to do it. You know, catfish or any kind of fish, when it cooks, gets very tender. What you don't want is for it to fall off into the flame, but this will work. This will do the job. There are fancier ways to do it, but this one does get the job done at the end of the day. Very bony. That was always the hardest thing about eating catfish, you know, growing up, is learning how to cut around the bones and all that. Get the skin off this guy. Here we go. Nice catfish. He's cooked all the way through, that's good. Get some of those pin bones out. Don't have a pair of tweezers with me. Worst ways to spend an evening, that's for sure. Mosquitoes are starting to show up, but part of life outdoors. I will say, the skin got a good char on it and is actually kind of nice. It's got a little crisp to it. Fish skin is just underrated in general, mostly because people don't cook fish very well. There you go. Nice big chunk of white meat. Quite nice. I think, yes. We got a fish on the line. We got a fish on one of the long lines we set out. Come here, buddy. Now you are one lucky fish. You are one lucky fish, because we would have cooked you up had I not just finished eating probably your friend. But, oh, see the long line, or the throw line. That's technically, I think that's what they're referred to as the throw line. They work. You just toss it right back out there. Alright guys, I reckon that'll just about do it for us today. Fantastic day. Came out here early afternoon, did some exploring, did some fishing, caught ourselves dinner, got to see a couple of other really cool animals. I'm very happy and I'm headed home. Don't forget guys, like the video, subscribe. When you do subscribe, hit that little bell so when I upload a video, you get all the notifications straight away. If you want to become a member of our Patreon, support the channel, just look for the link in the description of the video and a list of all the great things that are included if you're one of my patrons. More is coming guys, stay tuned, and until it's here, I will see you guys later.